Mystery schools were great mystic institutions revealed to a select few throughout civilization for connecting humans to their higher consciousness. The ancient Egyptian mystery schools were idolized by the Greeks, and the Greek mysteries were worshipped by the Romans. You're invited to bring those mysteries into the modern day. Welcome to Mystery School.
Welcome back to Mystery School. I'm Jess Zaino, and today we're stepping into a topic that has fascinated humans for thousands of years: magic spells. Not the Hollywood version with smoke and wands, but the real thing. Intentional rituals that focus energy, language, and belief to create change in our lives. Because when you think about it, the word spell is hiding in plain sight. Spelling. Words themselves are spells. Language shapes reality, intention directs energy, and the rituals we choose can become powerful containers for transformation. Today, I'm joined by someone who lives and works at the intersection of ancient practice and modern life. Dana B. Myers is a tarot reader, ritualist, and author whose work helps people bring magic down to earth in ways that are practical, grounded, and deeply transformational. Dana's approach isn't about escaping reality. It's about participating in it more consciously. Her spells are designed to help people shift patterns, align intention with action, and move energy in real and tangible ways. Dana, welcome to Mystery School.
Thanks for having me, Jess.
I'm so happy to see you.
I'm always happy to see you, always and forever.
We have been friends for a very long time. You are one of my best friends going back, I don't even know now, 30 years?
It's
Something
26. It's 26 years, I think.
You know the specific year.
I'm a Capricorn.
So you're so many things. So I really want to get into your incredible journey, but we're going to start really simple, which is to say, what is a spell really?
It's a great question. It's a great question. So for me, spell is just a moment, a very focused act of intention, right? And a spell can be anything. I keep it quite vague, I think, because everyone's magical practice is their own. But for me, a spell is when I have a thought, an intention, something I need to work through, and I add form to it. So I write something down, I grab a candle, I grab notions that help me move through or ignite or symbolize what it is that I'm working towards or moving away from. And it's a moment, a focused moment of expression. And that is, I think, the broadest way to describe it. Of course, there's so many details to spells and so many types of spells, but broad stroke, it's a focused act of intention.
I love that so much. We're just scratching the surface first because this gets real deep. However, when people hear that word of like magic spells, they're thinking of witches and fantasy and people around a cauldron.
Right behind me is my cauldron. But listen, I'm a mother of two. I have a master's degree. I built and sold a company. I've written 2 books. I'm a wife. I'm a regular human, right? But my spiritual practice really takes shape by way of witchcraft and spell work. To me, it's as simple as drinking water. So yes, I have a cauldron, but I'm not conjuring demons. You know, everything I do is really grounded in positive work. I don't say light work because not every spell that I work is about the light. Sometimes I'm doing a spell to process grief or sadness or deep confusion, or just murky territory where I don't know what my next step is. And doing a spell, I might do a spell to see clearly. And that helps me lift it out. But, you know, spellcraft is nothing to be afraid of. You can swap words. You can call it ritual. You can call it spell work. You can call it intentional work. Call it whatever you want. But spells work if you work them. I really believe that.
And can you tell us a little bit about your process so we can understand in a little bit more detail, like how you make a spell and how you set that spell up and let that spell fly?
Yeah, I actually have a client spell right here that I can show you if you want to see it.
Yes, definitely.
So I'll bring it over here. It's so funny because this looks like ice cream, but this candle is actually a unicorn horn. So what you'll see on this tray in which I'm using to prepare this spell is a unicorn candle. 3 tarot cards, several small candles,
Those rainbow candles are so beautiful.
they're gorgeous, and that's called a chime candle. That size of a candle is a chime. I have 5 blue hearts, 1 tiny little key here symbolizing doors opening, an oil blend I made, and an herbal blend I made. And so the way that this, and again, everyone's spell work is different, but when I work a spell for myself or for another, there's typically some tarot cards that I've pulled around the theme. What wisdom do I need? What archetype can I anchor into for inspiration, right? So the Queen of Pentacles, this client is really stepping into her next level of abundance, calm, steadiness, wealth, worthiness, right? So we're using her to kind of anchor this spell. Ace of Cups, lots of new beginnings for her. She's looking at opening up lots of new partnerships, lots of new ventures, and making sure that those ventures are aligned so that there's flow in those partnerships. And then the happy ending, right? We're going for the happy ending. We're going for the dream come true. So right away, you sense the energy of the spell, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
then it's like, okay, so there's a rainbow here. And then immediately I thought of, like a rainbow unicorn. And I said, I have a unicorn horn, right? Like we're riding into this next chapter, right? Doors open, the road is open. And so then, of course, I also wanted rainbow colors as the candles. So to support this, I love to support the master candle with other candles, more light, right? So we're bringing more light to this altar. The blue hearts, we chose 5 blue hearts because she's very much at a turning point. She's claiming this spell, this moment in her business trajectory as a turning point. 5 is the number of change, right? We chose blue because blue is the color of truth. She only wants to bring truth and clarity into this next chapter. So the oils that we chose, we go into my little spell closet, we choose oils.
Amazing.
Some of the oils we chose are powerful protection, high creativity, steady work, right? So that there's abundance flowing in a steady way. And then we choose herbs. Again, herbs that have properties that support her intention. We pull the herbs, I grind them, I bless them. We pull other little notions. I love working with keys right now.
What's a
Yeah,
notion? You used that word before. What is a
A
notion?
notion. So I use the word notion just to kind of cover all the things, right? Like a key is a notion. You could call them trinkets. You could call them symbols. Charms. Absolutely. There's jars of charms in there. And so then I work with her to gather the information that I need. And then I write her a spell. But what I don't do, which some other witches do, which I think is wonderful, but it's not something that I practice. Some people will cast spells for other people. I write spells that the individual casts for themselves.
You're basically a spell doula.
I'm a spell doula. Yes, I'm a spell doula. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. That's exactly what I am. And so then I'll package this up, send it out to her. She'll get like an altar guide and she'll set it up and cast it. But my workshop here is full of different altars, very much like this, but of course, representative of all different things I may be working on, be it abundance. I have a spell over there that I'm working right now, which is all about settling in to the lushness that already exists in my life. So it's about appreciation. It's about relaxing. It's about catching up to myself, right? Because sometimes I get ahead of myself. You know this. So for me, my most beloved form of magic is candle magic, working with an altar.
Now, you had those items on that circular plate. Like
It's a lazy Susan, yeah.
It's very Chicago of you.
It is. You have no idea how many lazy Susans I have for my spells. It is so Chicago. It's so Midwestern to use a lazy Susan. Yes, you can use a tin plate, anything that's fire safe.
Yes.
That right there is not fire safe, but I never leave my spells when they're lit. Yeah, marble is great. Metal is great. Tin. When I travel, I bring a tin camping plate. I buy stacks of these tin camping plates. It's like $1 a plate. I travel with it because I always want to travel with my magic and light my altars wherever I go. But yeah, you need some sort of a plate. But again, you don't need things for spells. I'm a
Mhm.
very elaborate spell maker. I love the details. I love symbolism upon tchotchke upon tchotchke. But really all you need is your body, your breath, and a clear intention. That's
Yes.
really all you need to cast a spell.
Yes. I just want to go back to the tchotchke for 1 second.
Please.
You and I love Target.
We do. We
Like,
really do.
we have these wonderful marble cutting blocks that are like
Yes.
in the $5 section. Like a marble
Brilliant.
cutting block. I really like that idea for a spell because there's some connection to minerals and nature, and maybe that becomes a thing. So,
Absolutely.
as far as
Absolutely.
intention, it's fun to think about, like you're talking about oils that you're using. Is that like olive oil, or are we going to get baby oil? Or if we don't have an apothecary, so like you in your workshop, which is
Yeah.
Miami, I might add,
Yes.
where are we going to get our materials and our oils and our herbs?
Okay, so first off, you can just go to your kitchen, right? And if you only have olive oil, you might look up or ask chat, what is the symbol of olive oil, right?
I feel like
Hold on, you know that.
I only know because it's coming to me in my head. I'm like, for me, I use olive oil to clean my face off, makeup off my
Mm.
face. And
Yeah,
I feel like olive oil can really speak to beauty and youthful plushness and
absolutely.
abundance. It
Absolutely.
feels so Greek. It feels so Athena to me.
Yes, yes, yes. I love that. Olive oil might also be used in a spell where you're trying to repair a relationship, right? The olive branch, right? Olive oil could be used for resilience because olive trees can survive incredible heat, right? If you think of the heat in the olive fields in Italy, it gets crazy hot in the summer, so they are resilient. They become plush and lush, full-grown olives even in the face of incredibly dry, hot conditions. So it's like magic is so much about making meaning out of
Yes.
whatever you've got. And that's what I love the most about it is that it's so individual. It invites so much creativity and it really invites a moment of pause to go, what do I have? I have a twig. What does a twig represent for me? How can I make meaning of it?
That is incredible. And also, I know that you have grown up in beauty and have always been a glamour girl and have always
Yes.
appreciated makeup and beauty. And your mother worked in makeup. And you have this unbelievable history and journey around beauty. And
Uh,
every single spell you do, all the things you choose, how you create your life in these spells is
mm.
just expressing yourself in beauty at all times.
Thank you. It's true. I come from a background of beauty. My mother was a makeup artist and still is. And beauty, not as a way of achieving external validation although of course it's a part of it, right? But beauty for joy's sake, right? Beauty because when you put on lipstick, yes, your outer beauty is expressed, but really your inner light turns on as well. And you start to see yourself and feel different. So beauty as a tool to operate in the world, to invite more joy, and certainly beauty in my spell work because the act of making a spell alter, you're creating beauty in front of your own eyes. And beauty attracts beauty and joy attracts joy. And even when I'm working a spell around an underworld journey, which we've both been through so many of those journeys, to add beauty into a dark moment, it's like a guiding light. It's like a torch to lead the way. So yes, 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 so much beauty in all the spell work. I always
And
say that people are like, what kind of a witch are you? Are you like an eclectic witch or a kitchen witch or a hedge witch? Not a hedge witch. I always say I'm like a joy witch
yes.
because I experience so much joy making the spells. And really, if I look at all the hundreds of spells that I've written, the outcome is always joy. And again, even if it's a moment of darkness, it's about moving through to get to joy. Can I talk about one spell that is kind of interesting?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I was working with a client who has a chronic illness and it's really, really tough on her. And she's like, doing all the treatments, and it costs a fortune. It's a very challenging moment in her life. And she's like, I feel like I'm on an elevator and the doors won't open. I don't know what floor I'm going to. The doors won't open. And I was like, let's make elevator magic, right? So she's in this moment of waiting. It might feel like purgatory for her, but like, let's decorate. If she's in an elevator, let's make it beautiful. So we started crafting this spell around, what do the walls of the elevator look like? Are they like tufted velvet? Is there a bar cart? Is it tea or is it whiskey? Is there a chaise lounge for you to lay upon in this elevator? Is there a kitty cat to come and like cuddle you? And so I like to make magic about anything. Like, she's in such a dark moment, but let's add beauty to it. Let's add joy to it. If you got to be there, you got to be there. You're not always going to be there. But let's try to make the journey through the darkness a little more joyful and a little more beautiful.
That is so stunning. You yourself have helped me through the darkness. So I would love to just touch upon that quickly. You and I, again, 26 years riding sidecar, and we've both had 6,000 different jobs and lives and titles and all of the things. What brought you to this place of being a witch? Again, you mentioned earlier, you've written books, you're a founder, you've exited, you've built and sold, you are a mother, you have your MBA. I remember when the beginning looked like marketing and music 1,000 years ago as, a teenager, practically.
Yeah.
So what brought you to witch?
Great question. So magic has been a through line to every little moment of my life that you just mentioned. I used to ride around my neighborhood in the south side of Chicago on my bicycle, and I had a basket, and I would pick up things from the empty lots. I'd pick up like an old soggy newspaper and a twig and a rock and a wrapper, and I would come home and I would just put it in a pot. And I would put it on the stove and I'd add water and I'd be like, what am I making? I don't know. I didn't call it witchcraft then, but I thought, oh, this is a spell. This is a wish. And then around 10, I moved into a very old house and magical things started happening. And my awareness started expanding. My awareness that there were other realms, that there were other beings, that there were other energies that I could work with. And that's just when I started exploring and trying to find books. As I got a bit older, I found women who were a little bit older than me, who were very magical, who were into the craft, who would tell me this or tell me that. And so I really, no matter when I was in the music business, founding Booty Parlor, having children, navigating marriage, I was always using magic to support me. So before a big launch, a product launch with Booty Parlor, or any crisis moment that we were in, I was putting a spell on that hair mist with pheromones, right? I was putting a spell on landing Victoria's Secret as a client. I was casting a spell when one of our huge clients went bankrupt and we got stuck with, $1 million of inventory that we had to pay for that had no client, no retailer to put it in. Like dire straits moments where I was like, what do I have? I have magic. I have my will. I have my will and my imagination and resources in front of me, candles, notions, whatever. I can harness all these feelings into it and try to affect some change.
Oh,
yeah. So throughout any moment, spell casting, and it's helped me tremendously. And so in about 2020, I was becoming increasingly unhappy running Booty Parlor. I was working with my husband for almost 20 years, and we were both like, maybe we should be done working together. And I thought, well, what does that mean? What do I want to do? And I thought, I just want to make magic with people. I was like, well, how do I transition into that? I have a journal here from 2020 where I wrote, like, what is my greatest desire? To become a witch and lead workshops and make spells, and everything has come true. And that's really where the magical and the practical meet, right? So I had the idea in 2024 that I could enter this space, in 2020 to enter this space. I was able to really enter it in 2024. So things take time, right? Things take patience. And I wasn't sure. I never even used to use the word witch. And I think the reason is, just because ancestrally, both in past lives and in real life, my ancestors were hunted, just for who they were. And so that word witch never appealed to me because I didn't want to be labeled or hunted. But it's become so mainstream that I was just sort of naturally able to embrace it. And then I just thought, once I sell this brand, I'm just going to invite people in and make magic and see what happens and let it evolve organically. And it has. And that's been a great
You're
lesson because I'm always trying to force things.
Well, it's been so unbelievably beautiful and inspiring for me. You're always an inspiration for me watching you grow this and just fully align with yourself and who you are. It's like rainbow bright. You're just like a Care Bear that's just exploding glitter from your heart space.
I love that. I love that.
How do you know? I mean, you're working with it, so you're in the everyday. Someone who's just pulling a simple little spell together, how do we know if it worked?
Great question. I think it is both internal changes you experience and external motion, external movement, right? Some people cast a spell for money and they get a rebate from their taxes or they land the client. Other times you might do a spell for abundance, but the money doesn't come in the next week, but an internal feeling of lightness or like a scarcity attachment. You just feel it start to release within you. So I think usually it's both. Now, I will warn that sometimes if you're not specific, sometimes spells can give you results that are more like a slap in the face. I've had some spells come back and be like, oh God, I wasn't asking for that lesson. When I went back and I looked at how I wrote the spell, I was like, oh, I kind of left it open. I left it open for the wisdom to find me, but I actually didn't want that wisdom. Of course, after, time passed, I realized that was the lesson I needed from the spell. An opportunity opens, a connection happens, momentum changes.
I want to do an in real life review, or I want to leave a Yelp review right here for you now. So you wrote me a spell when I was in a place of transition between one job into I didn't know what it was next. We wrote some spells about I work in the brand partnership space. I work in the building space. I work in creative development for entertainment. And we did a spell that I followed. I bought the candles. I got the oils. I had all the herbs. I love this spell so much. In fact, you and I have probably 2.5 years of texts between us where I still scroll back 2.5 years of texts to read that spell probably twice, 3 times a month.
That's amazing.
But I did the spell, and I kid you not, to anyone who's listening, everything we were focused on came to be within, I want to say, 2 tops 3 weeks.
Amazing.
Partnerships closed. Money came in, jobs were lined up bigger than I ever could imagine.
Yeah,
it was
amazing.
truly a moment of magic. And again, I'm so grateful that you shepherd so much of my growth. And I know for anyone out there who's listening, Dana, who you can find online, and we'll have all of her information below in the comments, and also just we'll share it here. Please reach out and know her work, because she is truly living and working so magically. And I'm so thankful for it. And I know anyone who gets to be in her presence and feel this magic and integrate this magic into their lives will feel that same joy that Dana's talking about, that you're talking about. It's just beautiful.
Can I say one more thing about results that I think is really important? So I cast a love spell, and 11 days later I met my husband.
Oh my gosh.
And I worked with someone who did a love spell. 6 weeks later, she met her husband. I went to their wedding. I had a girl come in the other day for a second spell, and she brought out her first spell, and she said, my first spell was about landing this job, and I took it out, and now she's landed the job. And she said, it matches specifically. It matches exactly what I was calling in. But it has to be equal parts magical and practical. It must. I can't wave a wand and you get the results that you want. You cast the spell, you put your intention, you bring yourself to this intention consistently, but you also have to be working the practical in tandem. You've got to be dating, right? You've got to be making those calls, doing the outreach. They have to work together. I was working a door opening spell with someone, and I checked in on them. I said, how's it going? Are you seeing any doors opening? Any new interesting phone calls? Anything happening? Any shifts in energy? She said, well, no, I'm just waiting for it. She said, I lit the candle for 3 days, and then I put the spell outside, and I'm just waiting for it. I said, okay, Repetition is key here. Let's reinvigorate the spell. Let's reinvite another mantra to add into this. Let's light another candle. You've got to stay in the energy and stay in the belief and the trust. Again, I always say spells work if you work them. I've said it twice now, but it's true. You have to do the work as well. It's a marriage, the magic and the practical.
I love that. And if somebody at home just wants to do the simplest little spell, they're a little nervous, they're a little scared of magic, what's the simplest little spell we can do?
Well, give me a topic.
Let's say love. We want to find our partner in life. We want to be in a committed relationship with someone.
Yeah. I think you can pick a candle in a color, and it could be a Glade candle from Ralph's, okay? But maybe it's vanilla, right? And vanilla is sweet, like the love you're calling in. And then you want to think about the quality of the love that you're calling in and how you'll feel when you call that love in. And you stand there and you raise your energy. And you can do that by singing or dancing or just saying, I raise my energy. You light the candle and you say, I now call in a love that is sweet, that makes me feel safe and held and in total reciprocity.
And we're doing that every day.
And you're coming and you're standing in front. Maybe you stand in front of that flame for 5 or 10 minutes and you snuff it out and you write in your journal how you felt and you come back the next day and say the same thing. And you keep repeating it. And then you go out there and you date.
I guarantee you who's listening on that 5th, 6th, 7th day, that person is showing up.
Totally. And things will change. Things will absolutely shift in your life.
You do incredible work, Dana. For everyone listening, if you want to explore Dana's work, her spells, her teachings, you can find her online. She's at danabmyers.com. You can follow her on Instagram.
I'm at Dana Myers XOXO on Instagram. It's easy enough to find me.
I'll make sure to have that below in the description so everybody can find you.
Thank you.
And if today's conversation sparked something in you, remember, magic isn't about escaping reality. It's about engaging with it more intentionally. So thank you for joining us at Mystery School today, Dana. That was an amazing, amazing course, if you will, class. And I hope everyone listening will stay curious.
Thanks so much.
If this episode resonated with you, make sure to hit subscribe right below so you don't miss out on what's happening next. Drop a comment and tell me what landed. It's your engagement that helps this conversation reach the exact people that it's meant to find. If you're craving the deeper connection, bonus teachings, and intimate live gatherings, come join us inside the Secret Society. The link is below.